Hi, I'm Carrie Ann Palumbo, registered dietitian nutritionist from Griffin Health, here at the Griffin Center for Healthy Living. You may have heard the expression, make at least half your grains whole, but what does that mean exactly? If you imagine a large wheat field and many wheat plants, the tiny grain we eat naturally contains three things: the bran, endosperm, and germ. Without getting bogged down with these terms, the bran and the germ are what contain fiber, protein, and micronutrients like B vitamins, magnesium, iron, and potassium. When a whole grain goes through processing to become a refined grain, that bran and germ are removed, leaving only the endosperm, which is the starchy carbohydrate middle layer. This starchy middle layer is what we eat with something like a white bread. If we eat the grain intact with all three parts, then we are able to consume the fiber, protein, and micronutrients, making it a much healthier choice with something like a whole wheat or whole grain slice of bread. Eating whole grains are better for blood sugar control, decreasing cholesterol, and making sure we're getting the vitamins and minerals our bodies need. Our bodies will utilize and break down these vitamins and minerals naturally found in plants very easily because of the way nature packages them. Now you may be wondering where to find these whole grains in your grocery store. Examples of whole grains are whole wheat bread, brown rice, as well as oatmeal, quinoa, and barley. And some of you may not have heard of bulgur, farro, millet, kamut, and freekeh. To note, white bread, white flour, and white rice are not whole grains. You'll know if you're eating a whole grain by the ingredient list. A food is a whole grain when the term whole is listed first. Or some foods may even have the whole grain stamp, which looks like this. Whole grains naturally contain carbohydrates, protein, fiber, and micronutrients, which is going to keep you full for longer, help with weight management, and improve cardiovascular disease. You can easily include whole grains to your daily routine. For breakfast, you can have overnight oats, you can top yogurt with toasted kamut, you can have whole grain toast with nut butter, or add farro to an omelet. You can also try kamut, millet, or barley on top of a salad or as a side salad. You can add whole grains to a stir fry with veggies and lean proteins, or add to a soup for a balanced, nutritious meal. Whole grains are nutrition powerhouses that are made of fuel our bodies and brains want to run on. So let's go ahead and make at least half our grains whole.
Hi, my name is Michael Rizzio. I'm the sous chef with Griffin Health, and today we're going to be making a chickpea cake in the healthy dessert options. So, this is going to be a very simple dessert. It's going to bring the sweet tooth, but it's also going to give you a really good healthy option. So, I try to make this as simple as possible. Everything goes into one container. And if you can make brownies at home, you can make this in the same time, if not less. So what we're gonna do is you go to your local grocery store, you take one 15-ounce can of chickpeas, okay? Pour them into any style container that you have. We also are gonna have some egg whites, a little bit of sugar, some canola oil, a baking powder, vanilla, orange, and for you gluten-free people, we're gonna do almond flour. So it kind of covers the whole basis of promoting a healthy lifestyle. And it is very simple. We're gonna take all the ingredients and we're gonna pour them into the one with the chickpeas in it. Little oil, orange zest, but you can do lemon zest, you can do vanilla, you can do any of your favorite flavoring. Some of the almond flour, a little vanilla, and some baking powder. Now, at home, you may not have an immersion blender, that's what we're gonna use today, but if you don't, you can use a RoboCoupe, you can use a food processor, anything that blends. And it's gonna be as simple as just taking all the ingredients and blending them together. Now in a food processor and a RoboCoupe, it's gonna come together really quickly. With an immersion blender, it may take a little bit of time. But it's as simple as making sure it comes out into that nice cake batter, nice and smooth, you don't want any lumps in it. Now here we flavored it with orange. You can put dark chocolate, you can put vanilla, you can put lemon, you can do anything that your mind can come up with. So we're just gonna bring it down and make sure that it's really nice and smooth. And in the meantime, we're gonna preheat an oven to 325, okay? So this is done. As you can see, the texture is nice and smooth. It's just like a cake batter that you would make at home. So today we're gonna use a little cake tin, but you can use muffin tin, you can use any kind of tin or baking pan that you have at home. We'll pour it right in. And like I said, we got the oven preheated, 325, and we're gonna bring this over to the oven. Now, one of the ways that you can tell this is done, same, that brownie method, everybody's done it. Toothpick at home, take it, poke it in the middle. Size like this should take about 20 minutes to cook. Again, it was 325. So we're gonna take this, pop it into the oven. And I have a couple already made for you, as you can see them up here. But I do want to plate one just to show you guys how to do it. So this we made with a chocolate cake. For all those sweet tooth people out there. We use dark chocolate, healthier version than the semi-sweet, right? We also have some berries and the aquafaba whipped cream. Now you can use yogurt, you can use regular whipped cream, whatever you want. But simply pipe it on top. Couple fresh berries for garnish. And then a little bit of lemon zest just for the top. And there is your chickpea cake, aquafaba dressing, and the berries on top. A couple tips and tricks and health benefits about this dessert particularly is that we're using chickpea and then we're using aquafaba for the frosting on top. What that does is it introduces protein into desserts so that it allows us to make good health choices when it comes to dessert. It also cuts back on bad carbohydrates and sugars because we try to limit that in this dish. Aquafaba is actually the liquid that you would cook the chickpea in. So if you're cooking a raw chickpea at home or a garbanzo bean, you're left over with a liquid, which that is produced by the chickpea itself. Now what we do is the same way that you would make a whipped cream. You take a little bit of heavy cream in that recipe, mix it with sugar, and whip it up. In this recipe, we take the aquafaba liquid and we add a little bit of cream of tartar and just whip it up the same way you would a whipped cream. And it blows up and it looks just the same. And things that you can do with it is you can turn it into a marshmallow and toast it, or just put it on just like a cake decoration. But what it is introducing good, healthy choices